Hello! I'm going to talk a little bit about the exciting royal wedding that we have coming up next year between Prince William and Kate Middleton. He is a Cancerian, a Cancer sun, and she is a Capricorn sun. They're born exactly 6 months apart. Cancer and Capricorn, they're opposites, but they go well together because water and earth, water waters the dry earth. Earth makes the water, molds it into something. So water and earth can be very, very compatible. And him with his Cancer sun, well, that's very intuitive. He's a family man, loving everything connected to do with family, and also very good with money. Many Cancers are very good with money. We've got many top bankers who are Cancerians. And if we look at her with this Capricorn sun, so she's a leader. She's got leadership qualities to her. But the most important bit, which makes everybody go, ah, which is the fact that both their moons are in Cancer. Well, the moon is ruled by Cancer, so that's already a great place to have the moon. And the moon is your emotional self in astrology. The moon is your child. The moon is the bit of you that needs to feel nurtured and loved and secure. And the fact that they've both got the moon in Cancer is a wonderful aspect between them. It means that they feel extremely safe with one another. They're very protective of one another. They would defend one another if needed. But there's just this feeling, almost like when somebody knows what you're going to say. That's how that Cancer moon is going to feel with one another. And it's going to feel so good, and so good for a living situation, a harmonious living situation. When the moons are in the same sign, it's quite an unusual event. This is a wonderful aspect to have. Because if we look at Charles and Diana, Prince Charles, his moon is in Taurus, and Diana's moon was in Aquarius. Now this is a difficult mix. These two moons are both fixed and they both fight each other. They're not terribly agreeable together, a Taurus and Aquarian moon. Of course, I am generalising here, and there may be other aspects that might lighten it up, but overall, moons in a domestic situation need to be able to get along together. And Charles now, he's with Camilla, and Camilla has a Cancer moon. And Cancer and his Taurus, which is water and earth. Again, more compatible, easier to get along with. And he will experience that as being more comfortable for him. But these two, perfect with the two Cancer moons. Now let's look at Mercury. How are they communicating together? Well, both their Mercuries are in air signs. And Mercury is very comfortable in an air sign because Mercury needs to communicate and to talk. Now her Mercury is in Aquarius and his is in Gemini. So for sure they're going to be able to sit down and discuss anything through on a logical level. They'll think things through and be able to talk about them. So these Mercuries are very, very compatible together. So as far as communication is concerned, I would think that, especially with her Mercury in Aquarius, she comes up with some interesting ideas that are outside of the box. And with his Mercury in Gemini, he too is able to come up with a variety of solutions to difficult problems. Now the Venuses are quite different. His Venus is in Taurus, hers is in Aquarius. This will mean that they've probably just got very different interests. They'll have some common interests for sure, but other things where they need to go their own way, which of course is very healthy in a relationship. And the Mars, well, Mars again, they've got Mars in exactly the same sign. Both got Mars in Libra. Now Mars in Libra can be a little bit argumentative, likes a good debate. So there will be good debates in their household. However, Mars in Libra does like to make up. They like everything to be nice in the end and everything to have a sense of fairness and justice. Now, we don't have a time for her birth. So what we can do at the moment, and if we do get a definite time, then of course I'll be able to go into much more detail. But because we don't have a time, what we can do is we could put her planets into his chart because we do have his time. And her sun, her Capricorn sun, because he's a Sagittarius rising, falls in her first house. So she makes him feel good. She's a boost to him and how he feels. That always happens when someone's sun falls in your first house. And her moon her moon couldn't fall in a better place. It falls in his 7th house. His 7th house of marriage, the moon in Cancer, having children, a family, warmth, love, affection, all those things. So this really bodes extremely well. Her Jupiter, her planet of good fortune, falls in his 10th house, right at the top of his chart. This means she's going to be a real professional asset to him. She's going to be involved with many of the international relations. They're going to be doing a lot of travel here, as the wedding chart shows, which I'll be coming to very quickly, very shortly. But certainly with her Jupiter in his 10th, she is a real asset to him in the professional arena. Now let's look at the wedding date. Is the 29th of April a good wedding date? Well, it's certainly a powerful date. The sun is in nice solid Taurus. I would imagine they're going to get married sometime in the morning, maybe 11:30, 12, which puts that sun in the 10th house, which is a great place to have the sun. But what is interesting is that we've got many planets in Aries on that day. So it's going to be interesting how it pans out, because Saturn's at the very bottom of the chart in Libra, and we've got all these planets in Aries at the top of the chart. So it's going to be interesting how they play it, because Saturn is going to be the very conservative part, where they're not actually going to be allowed to say everything or to communicate everything that they maybe would like to. And Aries, with all these planets pushing them out of boundaries into new areas and maybe wanting to say different things. With all those planets at the very top of the chart, they are going to be unusual, they're going to be different. The moon in Pisces, they're going to be loved, they're going to be there's going to be a feeling of respect for them. Definitely a great feeling of respect, but also a feeling of love. So, in my opinion, as an astrologer, their astrology charts look extremely good together. They've waited a long time before they've actually created the day. They are both going through their Saturn returns, Saturn into Libra now, and they both have Saturn in Libra. So this is a wonderful time to make that commitment, to build a solid structure in their lives, to move forward. And I, for one, certainly wish them the very best of happiness and luck for the future. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.